another array methods that will convert the elements of an array to string. So let's say console.log animals.toString. So what it does is it has the each of the element of the array, and it has concatenated to a string. So we can check that if it is a string or not. Let's say type of, okay, we cannot do it here. So let's check the length of this. So yes, it's a string and it is 32 of length. And there is another method. We can convert an array to a string, that is the join method. So what we'll do is call the join method, and here it requires a separator. So if we do not give a separator, it will by default concatenate the elements with a comma, and if we give no separator, it will leave no space between the elements, and we can give any separator we want, equal sign or plus sign or a space. It will do that. So what is the difference between these two is toString does not take any parameter for separator. It by default concatenates with a comma, but in join we can give our own separator. Now let's go ahead and see the sort method of this numbers array. So here we have a numbers array, and it is it is not sorted. So now let's call the sort function here, numbers dot sort, and we see that it has sorted this array in 4, 6, 8, 9 ascending order. But what if we had some elements like 10, 74? Now let's see what happens now. So we see that it did not sort the numbers greater than 10 in ascending order. This is because the sort method works. It first converts each of these elements into string and then sorts the string. So in here, the after converting 10 to string, the Unicode representation of 10 comes before 4. So that is why 10 is moved to the first position, and this is why this is not sorted correctly. To solve this, first let's say we want to sort this users array of objects. So let's say users dot sort, and here we are going to pass in a callback function to sort this. So let's write the callback function, an arrow function, and this callback function will take 2 parameters, and these 2 parameters will denote the 2 elements from the array. Let's say element 1 and element 2, and we're going to return element 1 dot, we want to return sorted by age. So age minus element 2 dot age. So what this will do is that element 1 and element 2 are any 2 elements from this array, and it is returning element 1.h minus element 2.h. This means that if, as we are sorting in ascending order, if any value, age value is greater than the second age value, they will return a positive value and they will swap each other's place. That is, in here 39 and 33, let's say this is element 1, this is element 2, so 39 minus 33, this will return a positive value, and because of this they will swap their positions. This is how this sort function, callback function, actually works. Now let's go ahead and let's say console.log users. So yes, as we can see here, our original array was this and it is sorted in age ascending order, 30, 33, 39. So now if we want to sort this users array by the name in ascending order, the previous methodology will not work. So to do that, firstly we need to convert the cases to a specific case, then convert them. So let's say name a equal element 1 dot name let's say name dot to we will convert it to uppercase, and the same way we can give it name b and we can do uppercase. Now we have to compare. So if name a is greater than name b, we will return a positive value. Let's say we will return 1. Then else let's say else if let's say now name a is less than name b, we will return that is a negative value, that is we will return -1. And else if they are equal, so else we will return 0. And so this is our function. Now let's go ahead and print this. So yes, as we can see that first it is sorted ascending, so package first, then F, then J, then lastly this L. So we see that it is sorted in ascending order. So what if we want to reverse it, let's say in this reverse order? So we just have to chain that reverse method with this sort. So if you reverse this, we can see that now the values are reversed. Now let's move to the next method, that is every method. So in every method, it will take a specific condition and it will check every elements of the array that it passes the condition or not. So let's take our numbers array dot every, and here we pass in the element and we see we have to return it. We return that element is greater than, let's say, 2. So Now let's console log this, console.log, and we see that it printed true. That is, it is checking every element from the array, and every element has to pass this specific condition. What if we did less than 5? So it returned false because every element does not passes this condition, like 4 is less than 5. And now let's check the sum method. So sum method will sum. So sum method, what it does is it only checks at least one element, that does it satisfy this condition or not. So element greater than 5, here is at least one element that passes this condition, and it returned true. And let's say if we want to check that if there is any if there is any even number in the array. So element percentage 2, that is, yes, there is even number in the array. Let's say we keep no even numbers. Let's see what it returns. We see that it does not satisfy any of the elements condition, and it returns. Now let's look at the examples of split and join method in array. So let's look at a real implementation of this. In Stack Overflow, someone asked a question about this, and in the URL we see that there is no space. As we write the query, we separated each word by space, but in the URL there cannot be any spaces, and the query is separated with a dash. So how can we convert this? So let's go ahead and convert this into a query string. So to remove that extra hyphen, we need to do this. First, let's split this. It's query dot split. We're going to split it again by a space, and after doing that, now the array is splitted, and in splitted we will call the splice method. So splice method can remove specific number of elements from the array, and inside splice method, first we need to find the index of the dash. So we can use another array method called index of to find that specific index. So let's say splitted dot index of, and what we want to find, a dash this. So that this is the first parameter of the splice method, and the second parameter is how many items we want to delete. So we will delete only one items. So after doing that, let's now let's go ahead and print this. I'm going to console log this result. Equal sign here. So it actually returned the removed element from the array. So okay, now we can reassign splitted dot we can call the join method, and we will join by a hyphen, a dash. Let's console.log this result. So finally we can see that our string have been converted to this query string. And here also note that the splice method will modify the array in place. That's why we don't need to reassign this splice method operation to the same array. It will modify the array in the